I want to say a huge thank you to Cove for sponsoring this video. Now check this out. This is the Cove commuter and this thing is amazing. So this thing is compact, it's light, it's about the size of a bottle of water. You can take it with you just about anywhere, and that's what we've done. The performance is amazing. We've been able to fill up this whole shop with music with just that little speaker. So guys, check out the link in the description below for 65% off. This thing is amazing bang for the dollar and I highly recommend it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. We're back with Uncle Sam and the quest for nines continues here. So let's show you guys what we're up against here. Poor planning has constituted an emergency. So here we are. We got a track day tomorrow morning and we're trying to make some stuff happen. We picked up our ZL1 diff. Check out this thing. It looks like it belongs in a semi truck. So this is what originally came out. That was a, believe either a 256 or 273 rear end ratio. That right there is a disparaging difference. Look at the size of that guy. Daddy, baby. Daddy, baby. What we have in there is the 327 rear end ratio of an automatic Camaro. So with that, we're having to change the axles as well as trying to figure out how to get the drive shaft to fit. So we need about a drive shaft that is about an inch shorter. So we have a very much a redneck idea that is probably gonna work. We're gonna hit this a couple of different ways. We got a couple different fashions on how we think that we can shorten up the drive shaft here without cutting the drive shaft. So for one, they have these little donuts here, and I was proposing that basically we cut off this much and that much, about a quarter inch. We do that 2 times and we can have our inch shorter because we have this guy up here. That does have a pilot, a male-female connection, and if we have to modify that, we will. That is a longer pilot, like I said, daddy. Now George has proposed, I like the idea, no donut whatsoever and just bolted straight to. Probably gonna break something. They should have said something. This guy right here, I know that GM does make a kit for all that, but we don't have time for that. Okay, we got to make this track day, and we're gonna try and make this work with what we have. If we break something, it's my fault. I don't think we're gonna break the rear end. Maybe we might break the yoke or something like that, but hey, we got another yoke. All right, so we have different axles. This right here is a ZL1 axle, and again, that thing is an absolute beast. This is the axle that we started with. That's the axle that was in there, and this is the axle that's going in there. Kind of a progression, certainly. 300 horsepower, 600 horsepower, that thing's supposed to be good for, well, probably 900. We are contemplating taking off the light bar. We got our smaller tire on there. I know a lot of guys said in the previous video, hey, if you were spinning, why would you put a smaller tire on there? Well, here's why. For one, that track was run through. There was probably like 1,000 passes that were made on that track that day. If we're going to a private track rental, it is going to be on point. The track prep is going to be very, very serious. So that's what we're banking on. It is, if you guys ever have the opportunity to go to a private track rental, usually it's a bit more expensive. You got to pay a couple $100, but it is so worth it for a personal best. And that's what we're here to do. All right, so that is our difference between the 2 tires right there. That is a 315/30/18, and that is a 305/40/18. So I got about a 2 or so inch difference between them. I calculated the difference from the 327 to the 373, that's 14%. The difference in the tires is about 8%. So we're looking at 22% more gearing for acceleration. So we should be able to get out of the hole a lot better. Now that means that I'm also going to be turning 22% more RPMs up on the top end as well. So we'll see how this works. We've got the RPM, but we lack the bottom end. So that is why we're going with more gearing here. And this is something that we would be doing anyway if we're going to the manual trans. That's coming up soon, but right now we got to make this track day and we got to make our best ET here. Yeah, that's an impressive difference, to say the least.
That's what I wanted to do.
Pikachu!
Look on this side though.
Oh man, that's funny.
Dang, man.
Upgrade! It's like Legos. It's been really fun because we've been able to do like the Lego thing with it, just constantly upgrade with whatever else was out there. So yeah, so because of this right here from the yoke to flange, I guess you could say, is significantly longer, we're going to have to resort to some sort of means in order to make that fit. All right guys, it is about 1:45 midnight and the boys have been whipping on this thing. I've been on the dyno finishing up some other cars and stuff that we had for today. We've had a number of issues of why this thing wouldn't fit and just all the pitfalls of what we had to do. So let me fill you in. All right. So for one, we had our exhaust up here. This is the least of them. We kind of had to make a little relief in there. This ZL1 diff had a cooler to it. And right now our exhaust is kind of about about a half inch or so, if that. And we don't have a cooler. So what we did is last drilled and tapped that thing, put an 1/8 inch pipe thread in there. We should be okay. Now the biggest thing was the axles. All right, so our big old beefy axle right there, we are actually running 2 right side ones, and it'll be fine. Now we're gonna find out. Supposedly they were offset. One is supposed to dampen some sort of frequency that makes wheel hop, and unfortunately, this is the only way that we can make this work. So it has a deeper spline than what was there. So these were our OEM ones, and then these are the ones that we're using, but still, they have the same depth of spline. Now, another thing. So Laz and George, tell me what you guys had to do to this. This thing was kind of... This is our little donut that kind of holds our drive shaft to our yoke.
So you see how it sticks out right there? It's offset.
Yep.
And it's offset to... 3 of them are offset on the other side to slip
Okay, so we have an in and an out, in and out.
We had to grind one side down, basically, because we're using this drive shaft with a caprice. They're smaller.
We changed the tranny fluid, so we're going to really make sure it's totally topped. We're going to have to redo the trans, do a trans relearn, and I got to change all the shift points because, again, all of our shift points are going to be 22% different than what they were if we're going to run this tire and this gear. It's really a sweet option about HP tuners. You can basically just go to the gear and tire wizard, you edit in the new gear and new tire, and it takes care of it all for you. Some cars, you still might have to do some tweaking on it. It's not totally perfect all the time, but it works pretty darn awesome. All right, well, let's freaking make this happen. Sam's gonna go 9s. We're doing our best. So, still got a lot to do. It's gonna be after midnight. I gotta go for a street tune and we're gonna finish this all up. Well guys, we are at a private track rental. Got a bunch of stuff going on here. We're gonna see what everything does. So Garrett bought this car. This is gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. Got a driver's challenge race. That's gonna be awesome. So guys, we're gonna pull Uncle Sam out. And after all this hard work, let's just hope that this actually works. All right, so let's show you what we got going on here. This is a makeshift diaper. We're using some t-shirts and we're going to try and absorb any of the diff fluid if in the event that this thing pops out an axle, which we did on our test drive last night. It is certainly not our proudest moment, but this is what you do in a pinch. We always do wish that there were more time. It's very difficult to understand that we don't have time, ever. So we've got a lot of dying wing, a lot of customer cars to get done, and this is a rare opportunity to get a private track rental. Always the prep is so much better than we got to take advantage of this event. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find certain points to fix this in, lots of zip ties, and I know we're eventually going to melt the shirts. I've had to do something like this before. So we popped the axle out because it does not fit. That is the wrong axle for that. That's all we can do. But we did do a test drive to about 105 mile an hour last night, and it was good. Here we got a problem in the tank there. She's boiling. Oh yeah. Dry ice, kids. You guys asked for it. We're freaking doing it.
Are you saying the Ozark is not airtight?
I can't believe it. All right, boys, we've done a lot in order to make this happen. Probably gonna have to do a trans relearn and some other crap, man. But we thought we did it last night and it just didn't freaking leave very good. So, all right, we'll check this thing out. We're gonna build on that. The shifts are so far off with everything being. Last night we checked them and everything was pretty good. But so guys, we had a crazy stupid thing going on with the trans on the 1.2 and the 2.3 and the 4.5. The only shift that was good was the 3.4. So we're gonna have to redo a trans, relearn, do some other crap. We're gonna get this thing figured out here. It tripped the beam. I was trying to foot brake it, Been there, done that a couple times, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tweak some shift points. They are way off, so gotta work on that. All right, I got a lot of stuff to figure out here. So we lost our plug, huh?
Oh, look down in the corner right there. It's right down there in the corner.
Okay. All right, so that is what is left of our throttle body wiring, and apparently the connector for the pigtail is down in there, so. All right, so there is a slim possibility that we might be able to repair this, but not looking good at the moment. All right, so our blower belt is not the one that had the problem. Sorry, I thought it was the blower belt. We're totally intact there. It's the other drive belt that had an issue. So we lost a rib off of that. You can see right there on our power steering, missing a rib. That's what took everything else out. We'll see if we can keep that, maybe remove it and trim any excess parts from it, but this is what we have to deal with here. Our connector, part of our connector, the internal kind of guide for the terminals there is still in there, but Laz has that, so we'll see if we can repair that. Laz and George saved the day. So we still got to pull the belt and trim off anything that might be slinging around and possibly have this same type of issue again. That is a work of art. Reusable zip tie for the win. That's pretty awesome. All right, well, we are pretty good. We got something that should be able to work. Definitely a cobbled together mess, but did it in a pinch. Definitely freaking hot. 127 degrees in the blower right now. Let's get that thing chilled out. Let's clear the codes. Lots of codes. Delete and all that. Throttle pedal, throttle body, da 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 da. No, it's still going into reduced engine power. Something's still not right with the wiring. Throttle pedal position sensor AB switch voltage correlation. That's what a 2135 code is. All right, so we got a wire backwards and we are going to fix that. Then she should be back in business. He should be back in business. All right, we had a little empanada break. Hit the spot, ready to roll. Sam's back. Definitely making a clatter. Hold on. Man, we definitely lost our belt here. She's definitely hot. Let's check out what happened here. Man, we spun on the 1-2 real bad and definitely still like hit the rev limiter on the what the hell? The 3-4 shift was awesome. The 4-5 shift was way up there, but it didn't hit the rev limiter. All right, so after that, when I let off, the coolant temp soared. Wow, holy crap, man. So yeah, I lost the belt for sure. My intercooler pump's still running. It's weird. All right, let's check our oil pressure, man. Come on. All right, so the belt definitely came off here. Having a hard time trying to fire this thing back up here, so I'm gonna try and crank it and coast it as long as I can. good sound at all. That's a terrible sound. Shows like we got some oil pressure here. I'm gonna call him, have him bring the trailer over. Well, the hits keep coming. We're not giving up here, kids. Regardless of what we're facing here, we're gonna get this thing ironed out. So, granted, this is most definitely frustrating. It's, you know, this is racing though, so stuff happens, and we're out here trying to do what we can do. But man, I don't know what to say at the moment. But we're gonna keep on trying. Let's see what we can find out here. So she's rattling pretty good.
The rear end?
No.
The motor?
Yeah. Yeah, not sounding good. So I don't know. I started it from like there to here, and I was like, I'm not gonna drive it. So guys, hopefully this is not another terribly sad day for Uncle Sam. I mean, we were out here definitely trying to get done what we needed to do, despite how bad the weather was. We made all sorts of stuff happen to try and make this date. Everything that we had done actually worked. Everything with the differential and all the other crazy stuff that we had done worked. So that is a huge feat in itself. So let's just hope everything is okay with the engine. We're gonna have to let it cool down, bring it back to the shop, and kind of go over everything, check our oil pressure. But guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you. We'll see you soon.